Welcome to the talk show called Allowed to Talk. And today I'm going to finish up the book that I wrote about a year or so ago called Who Took My Self-Esteem? Inner Critics Are Like Trolls. And the troll's more like the troll in your head that's saying things that aren't true about you, but you believe as a child because you look up to people. What else could you do as a child? You need people to survive. So it's more like the troll in the Lord of the Rings, but this is the troll I put on the front. I found it at like a flea market. Anyway, continuing to read the book, Who Took My Self-Esteem? Chapter 17. And the title of that chapter is Dance. Make sure you get enough exercise while you're healing. Also, dance any chance you get. I love to dance in the kitchen. Dancing is great exercise. Dancing is something I loved to do as a teenager. As a young child, my dad used to play the banjo. The kids would dance around the living room to his banjo playing. This all stopped after my oldest brother moved into our house with his 4 children. I think my dad would still play a song now and then, so it did happen now and then. But by stopped, I mean it didn't happen all the time like it used to. But the dancing for me stopped. He loved my mom so much that he sort of gave up his own life for her wishes every time. Exercise is so important for your mental and physical health. Eating a healthy diet is also so vital for you too. I learned this after so many quick fix diets and then regaining all the weight and more. I learned that I am a food addict. I always used to go to food for comfort. Food made me feel loved. Don't ask me why. I just know that what I felt like after binging over and over again, I felt loved and comforted. I was hiding my hurt in the horrible binge foods I would eat over and over again. My nephew that moved into my mom's house after my oldest brother divorced turned to alcohol for comfort. As an adult, when my nephew would visit his dad, my oldest brother, his dad would give him the lecture. He wouldn't show him love, compassion, or understanding. None of that was given out to him. The same for me with most of my siblings. Just words like, straighten up and fly right. Or, you are made of better stuff than that. My blood used to boil when they would talk to me just like our mother used to. Just like an alcoholic, I was addicted to food. A book about having lines with food has given me hope. I gave up sugar and flour and only eat fresh whole fruit and plenty of vegetables with a lower quantity of proteins. Hi, I'm Kay, and I am addicted to food. That is the truth. Just a warning. People might laugh, mostly bullies, and say this simple but difficult way to heal is just a joke. I am healing and will not be bullied by any of my sisters or in-laws ever again. I will never conform or believe conforming to their opinions is what I need to do to receive love from them. Never again. Chapter 18. My dog. My dog, a yellow lab, has been through all of this with me. I am so thankful for her. She snuggles with me when I'm crying my eyes out. She nuzzles me with her head when I am just having a lousy day. And don't we all have days like that? We got her at a farm in Pennsylvania. She came strutting out of the barn like she owned the place. She was stinky like manure, and we couldn't wait to get her home for a needed bath. She was much larger than the advertisement said. The ad said she was 7 weeks old. When she came strutting out of the barn, she was the size of at least a 3-month-old dog. Puppy dog. She was a puppy. I took a look into her deep chocolate eyes and immediately fell in love with her. I thank God for Millie, the dog that learned to eat every bit of people food that her binging mother would drop on her way back to sit on the couch and eat while watching love story movies. Sometimes the only way I would feel alive and loved. Even though my husband loves me very much, he could not do it for me. Get back the self-esteem that was taken, or I allowed to be taken as a seriously sensitive person. Child, I'm talking about a child here. I did not get that needed nurturing and understanding that a sensitive, serious child needs. It was unintentional, but still very damaging for me. My dog has also helped me in my healing. I hated when my other pets died and we had to put them down. I couldn't step 1 foot into the vet's office to comfort or console my pets as they were dying. This Millie, I will be right by her side every second of her dying, weeping oh so softly and lovingly. And that happened, and I was. I was there with her. And my heart was broken. Seriously, it was. Anyway, chapter 19. Forgive, because you cannot change the past. None of us can change the past. I needed to forgive a lot of people, including myself. I knew I couldn't change the past, but I was comfortable holding on to my hurt. I was a hurt person. My daughters were hurt by having to listen to my husband and me argue about my past. At times, a lot of at times. I forgave myself for not being the perfect mother to my daughters. I was determined to never raise them the way I was raised. I forgave myself for bashing my husband when he totally did not understand. When he totally did not understand what I was trying to explain right after I found answers and all the puzzle pieces fit. I forgave myself for the food binging and beating myself up. I believed I was a worthless nobody, and now I believe I am worthy to live my best life. I am still married to Tim, and I love him very much. During my search for me, and before I learned how to nurture and validate myself, I found myself envying other married couples. I was wishing that I could have that. I forgive me. I love me. I am doing okay. I love music and candlelight dinners. I can't wait to go on another cruise with the love of my life. Me. Laugh out loud. My husband, of course. Hugs. Chapter 20. You will change. No longer a victim or a target. After a childhood like I had, you become a very attractive target to people who are toxic manipulators, very cruel people. Very cruel people. They are in need of mental health care too, but they would have to believe they have issues. Most people with narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, do not believe there's anything wrong with them. They must be perfect and have empathy only for themselves. They have no empathy for you unless it gets them something. It has to be only for themselves. And I just want to add this, that I have a family member who, when it happens to her family, a member of her family dies, she cries like a big baby. It's one of my sister-in-laws. It's all about herself, but if someone else's family has tragedy, it doesn't matter to her. And I'm not going to go into detail about that. If you meet a person that seems too good to be true, they no doubt are fake. They love bomb you by saying what you want to hear. They study you and emulate you back to you. They have no empathy for anyone or anything but their belongings and themselves. You are loved by the pathological narcissist, toxic manipulator, like their material possessions are loved. When at a function that the toxic person is attending, you can also ignore them, which is gray rock. You can answer with one word answers yes or no. If they ask you a question, you can move to another table or area of the room. You can leave. Just go home. Love yourself enough to do this. Never go to the bathroom alone, though. Never. Always take a friend with you. Or go home. Just leave. There's so much they could go. You go in alone and they come in and they'll come out and tell people you said or did when you didn't do anything in the bathroom if they come in, or any room alone. Never be alone in a room with someone in your family or someone that's manipulating. And if you're married to this person, God bless you. As a child, I was not allowed any personal space or privacy, no boundaries. As an adult who couldn't and usually wouldn't speak up for herself because of my fear of being rejected, again, not good enough and a worthless nobody, I was the perfect target for the toxic user and abuser, the manipulators, malignant, narcissistic personality disorder people. They usually try to destroy you and suck the life out of you too. If and when you find out they are playing mind games, ignore them and avoid them. Observe them without absorbing their taunting, hurtful words to get what they want, to get you riled up for their narcissistic supply. Then they sit back and watch your reactions. They project all the blame onto you or someone else. I like to say they get off on the mind games they play. Some call it gaslighting. I call it sick. Chapter 21, no contact is okay. For your well-being, if you are not ready or prepared to deal with a person with a narcissistic personality or just a cruel person, a very cruel person, you are allowed to not be in contact with that person. For your health and safety, please do not attend functions they will be at. It is very likely that they will be searching for someone to get some narcissistic supply from. They need that get-off fuel to keep their self-esteem and ego to their perfect level. They will not stop at anything. There is no point that they will not climb to. To feel alive, they need to see you out of control, and your emotions out of control, and to feel good about themselves. They'll just gaslight you. Their supply is all that matters. The quiet narcissists, vulnerable, fragile ones, will be sneakier and sly about it. They will do covert things to get their supply eventually from someone, and at some time they will stop at nothing. Let me repeat, they stop at nothing. The covert seeks and preys on chosen types. If you aren't that, good for you. If you aren't any of the chosen types, you will at least do as a flying monkey, the enablers, people who act on behalf of a narcissist. The charmer so fake will tell you exactly what you want to hear. Then they expect you to return the favorable words they believe they need to hear. How great they are at everything. The outright evil, miserable, who does overt things, narcissistic person will get their way, tell you all about themselves. The world for them is me, 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 and me. When relationships are torn, it is not their fault ever. The other person will be in the wrong always. And sometimes a person that doesn't have NPD, a narcissistic personality, can have a narcissistic trait or something and maybe overspeak you when you're talking and then tell about their vacation or kids or story. But that's just mistakes that humans make. But this person, this outright nasty, malignant narcissist, will make sure that it all revolves around them. They'll take over. They take over the conversation. They take over the plans. They just take over constantly, not just human error. It's called a personality disorder of being a very cruel person. And they think they aren't. It's really sad in a way. A lot of these toxic manipulators are striving for prestige and power. No contact is perfectly okay while you are healing and becoming strong. Keep your boundaries and keep on loving yourself. The toxic might become teachers, preachers, and even politicians. Don't believe that what they are doing for a living makes them charming and sweet. They could be anywhere you travel. Keep your boundaries and or no contact. Of course, there are good, sincere people in the professions I mentioned. So just be wary and know what the red flags are, such as they are too good to be true, and run. You get the gist. My one daughter, when I told her about the too good to be true, said, well, didn't you think that about my husband? I said, your husband's a great man, but he was not too good to be true. I argued with him before you even dated the second time, because he decided you weren't dating because you lived so far apart. But anyway, he was not too good to be true. He was a great man, but the too good to be true who seem to do everything perfect, avoid. Run as fast as you can. Chapter 22 and the last chapter. Good news and bad news. Practice makes progress. The good news is that you can heal. You can love you enough to care for yourself. Stop beating yourself up and give yourself some slack. Do the self-talk and tell the troll, the inner critic, in your mind to encourage you on to victory. Practice makes progress. The bad news is that you will be healed and the flashbacks from your childhood will get less and less. but they most likely, in my case, they have not, never completely stopped. You can rewire your brain by doing the self-talk and loving yourself just as much as you love others. You will always have some struggles. Who doesn't? They will get less and less as you heal. Today I am the strongest version of myself. The truth has set me free. Joy, Joy, Jesus, others, and never forget yourself. Amen. While I was healing, I cried every day for about 6 months, and that's the truth. But you have to go through that heartache and sorrow and self-talk to heal and be at least 95% better. You'll have some of those things that will rear up its ugly head and you'll have flashbacks, but you can heal and be a better person for it. And thank you for listening, whoever listened to the book. I might read a chapter or two from my other books, but I'm not going to read the whole book, just the chapters that I think are important that might help someone to heal. Thank you for listening to the book, Who Took My Self-Esteem? Inner Critics Are Like Trolls. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Take care.